Alright, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another Devil May Cry video. This video is going to be a theory slash speculation video of me just basically talking about why I believe that there are already angels within the Devil May Cry franchise. But before we even talk about like who I think are angels or like what Devil May Cry consider angels to be, I first want to talk about like the type of setting in the world that Devil May Cry is in. Obviously, this is just pure speculation. Like, this isn't confirmed or denied, or this isn't something I found from a forum or found from an old interview or something like that. But I believe, and I don't know how many of you guys also believe, but I do personally believe like Devil May Cry must have taken place after Rapture, right? And if you guys don't know what Rapture is a pretty common story told by, a lot of like religious folk where Rapture is the great war between like angels and demons. Maybe it's not necessarily called Rapture, but that's what I think Devil May Cry is. Rapture was when all like the remaining human beings that couldn't transcend to heaven stayed on earth, and then the war between demons and angels ran amok. Obviously, within the context of Devil May Cry, it's obvious as day that the demons won the war. Won the war, and demons won the war, and they were the ones that overall took over the earth. And that's just the setting of Devil May Cry that I believe it to be. Like, no one really talked about it. I don't think anybody's really mentioned it. But hey, if there's an interview or there's an article, someone just mentioning the idea of the world of Devil May Cry does take place after Rapture, definitely leave me a comment down below and let me know how you guys personally feel about that idea. Like, Devil May Cry takes place after Rapture, but in this universe, the demons won the war. So now, talking about the angels, since the demons won the war, I'm pretty sure the angel population is very scarce, very bare minimum and stuff. So this is what I'm going to propose to you guys. I'm going to propose to you guys who I believe that are either angel, but that I believe that's angels, but I feel like there's different variations of angels, only because they're already so scarce and there's not a lot to come by. So this is the three types of angels I think that's are in Devil May Cry. So there's the Nephilim, half angel, half demon. Then there's the angel, like, I guess you could call them like corrupted angels, fallen angels, if you want to say that. And the last one is going to be just recreations of angels, or like remade angels made out of like magic, or angels recreate, or beings created to mimic angels. So those are the three types of like angels I think that's already in Devil May Cry. And let's start off with the number one. I want to start off with the Nephilim. So individuals I believe that are like half angel and half demon. And there are two people I believe that's half angel and half demon. And I know this is a long shot. I'm really hitting on status quos or things that's already been established, but hear me out. So the first person that I believe that's half angel and half demon is Mundus. I believe Mundus is half angel and half demon. And the only reason I bring this up is, yes, I know Devil May Cry and the reboot is its own separate franchises and they don't really intertwine too much. I do know a lot of inspiration is taken from DMC when it comes to combat-wise, but story-wise, I don't know how much of a relevance it will make as well. But there was a line said in DMC Devil May Cry the reboot where you had basically I think it was Phineas. Yes, his name was Phineas. Phineas mentioning that the Nephilim clan, or the clan of Nephilim, or just angels and demons together, just produces some of the most powerful demons or angels, if you want to call it that. So think of it like this. I remember rewatching some of the cutscenes for Devil May Cry 1, and then when you looked at Mundus, he first appeared in a church. That could mean anything. That doesn't necessarily mean, yeah, he's an angel because he's in a church, but there's just so many things that pertain to that one particular scene that just screamed angel to me, or half angel. Because obviously, like, when you see Mundus's true form, he's obviously demon-like, 3 eyes, demon-like, very, like, demonic. He has a very high demonic presence to him and stuff. But when you see him in this church scene, you also see him in this holy temple where he's sitting on this chair, and then when he transforms with the statue, you see him with his angelic-like wings. So the way how I see that is just like, I possibly believe like Mundus could potentially be like half angel, half demon, only because like these half breeds are usually the strongest beings within within the world. You know, like there's some of the strongest characters you'll see within any demonic verse. You know, like when you're half of something, it makes you pretty powerful, pretty strong, and I think that's the reason why at one point Sparta was able to take down Mundus, but obviously it wasn't for a long period of time. Eventually, like he got his comeuppance. So I think what Sparta's next plan was to create his own like weapon against Mundus, who's already, or to his knowledge, he already knows Mundus is already a half angel, half demon. So the best way to counteract that was to produce his own style of Nephilim, where he creates like a half human, half human, half demon, which is where like you have characters like Dante come into fruition and you have Virgil come into fruition. But that's just my thoughts on that. Is not the most strongest evidence to provide when it comes to trying to justify Mundus being a Nephilim, but I feel like some of those like small tidbits of him just seeming like to be this holy figure while at the same time being this, demonic being, like it does make sense to me that he could potentially be a Nephilim. But then again, like I still could be wrong. So like I want to leave that up for debate. Like, do you guys believe Mundus could potentially be a Nephilim? I know in like Wikipedia's and other like databases, it specifies him being like, oh no, Mundus is a demon. But like this could be one of those switch and bait type of things where it's just like it is later revealed that he is actually a Nephilim. But at this point in time, we consider him to still be a demon because again, like there's no real evidence or facts, backing that up. So that's for me, Mundus. The second character I also believe is a Nephilim is V. Kind of similar to pulling off of some of the lore of the reboot DMC Devil May Cry, but kind of like pulling off of the lore of DMC Devil May Cry. My personal thing is look at V's Devil Trigger, if you even want to call it that at this point. I don't know if it has a particular name or has a specific name, but look at look at V's transformation from black hair to white hair. And that only reminds me of DMC Devil May Cry, where you had Dante when he transformed into his own Devil Trigger. He didn't fully transform into a demon. He went from black hair to white hair. So my thing is, I know that's probably one of the more smaller things when it comes to trying to justify V as a Nephilim, but like I said during the beginning of the video, like this game took a lot of homages from DMC Devil May Cry the reboot. So like if that's the case, why wouldn't that also imply that, hey, maybe like they're testing the waters a little bit with making V a Nephilim, like by giving him some of the similar attributes to Dante from the reboot, like why wouldn't it, or why couldn't it be possible that he's potentially a Nephilim? So again, like I said, for Mundus, there's not a lot of information backing it. That's the only thing I could personally pull from the lore itself to justify why I feel like V's a Nephilim. So those are the two characters I feel like is a Nephilim. Mundus and V. Mundus mostly because based off of power, based off of his presence in Devil May Cry 1, and based off of his demeanor overall, I feel like he could potentially be a Nephilim. Number two, V, aesthetic-wise, I believe he can also be a Nephilim only because just aesthetically, from what they pulled from DMC Devil May Cry, they pull a particular function that worked for Dante because he was a Nephilim and gave it to V. So those are the two characters I feel like that are Nephilim. Now let's go to angels that were recreated, or beings that were recreated to mimic angel appearance. So that, I give it to Lucia. And I also want to mention two things of why I feel this way, and one thing how I feel like she's going to be important storyline wise. So let's go to the two things first. Number one, she was raised by Matier. I'm gonna say Matier. So she was raised by Matier, a legion of beings that were. She was raised by Matier. I can't speak. She was raised by Matier, a clan of beings that helped Sparta fight off Mundus. They don't necessarily specify what kind of beings they were. At first I was thinking it could potentially be like other angels helping out Sparta take down the Demon King, but I don't think it's that convoluted. I think it was pretty much like demons teaming up with other demons, or possibly humans teaming up with demons to take down Mundus in Devil May Cry 2, lore or whatever. So my thing is like, all right, Lucia. Number two, Lucia was created by Arius. Yes, you can argue the fact that Arius only produced and created demons and stuff like that, but like my thing is Arius, to me, he was a human, and he was a human obsessed with the different like mythical like excuse me, he was obsessed with the different mythical lores, I want to say, because throughout the game of Devil May Cry, I would believe that all the demons and all the creatures that you see within Devil May Cry are the byproduct of Arius, right? And these creatures aren't necessarily just creatures. They could be different mythical creatures from different like mythologies. You know, they don't necessarily all have to be demon based. They could be different creatures from different mythologies. Obviously, they all fall under the umbrella of a demon, but they could be different types of species within the mythology of different mythoses. So, my thing about Lucia, though, Lucia was created. The one thing I do want you guys to notice when it comes to a lot of the dialogue in Devil May Cry 2, they never specifically say that Lucia herself was a demon. Like, her mother doesn't necessarily say she's a demon. Dante just assumes she's some sort of type of demon. And then even Arius himself, like, if you ever look at the interaction between Arius and Lucia within Devil May Cry 2, which shouldn't take too long, it's like a couple of seconds, he never addresses her as a demon. Like, he always say, like, oh, Lucia, you're in a creation. You are a byproduct. You're a monster. That monster quote or that monster line doesn't necessarily mean that she is like a demon per se. I mean, people could say that angels are monsters. Like if Arius is a human being and he had to live through the angel demon war because he couldn't transcend to heaven, then wouldn't he see like angels as monsters as well as demons? You know what I mean? So that's just how I see it. That's how I personally see it. This also could be the reason why we don't see Lucia right now in any trailers for Devil May Cry 5. She could play her own pivotal role later on, but that's just speculation. So that's why I personally believe that Lucia could be like a recreation of an angel. Like Lucia could be a being and she could be a being that Arius took inspiration from angels. You know, like that's how I feel like Lucia. That's why I feel like Lucia is. And last but not least, corrupted angels. So these are fallen angels that either lost their grace, if you watch Supernatural, like, or any like angel like or biblical like television series, like angels that lost their grace, where they're no longer as angelic as they once were, angels that like they no longer have the power that they once had before. So characters that I believe that are like fallen angels are definitely members of the sword. Members of the Order of the Sword, I believe, are fallen angels. So that is His Holiness, that is Ignis, and that is Credo. Kyrie is pretty wishy-washy, but definitely those three, I believe they're fallen angels. Like, angels that lost all their grace. Angels that lost all credibility, and angels that fallen from the war. That could potentially be the reason why they worship Sparta so much. Not necessarily because Sparta is like the most powerful or he saved their city and stuff like that, but it could just be that the reason why they worship Sparta is just because he's a very powerful demon and they would like just to captivate that like demon power or whatever, you know? So that's number one. Number two is like, if you look at these characters aesthetically, like nothing about them necessarily just scream demon, you know, like especially Credo. Like I don't want to say like angels is a given when it comes to like wings are a given to being an angel. Like, oh, if you have wings, you're an angel. No, like demons have wings as well, feathery wings is at that. But my thing is though is just like when it comes to Credo, Ignis, and His Holiness, is like aesthetically how they look and how they carry themselves as individuals and stuff like that is like, again, similar to V aesthetically, like they do remind me a lot of like angels. So that's just how I feel about the Order of the Sword. I feel like when it comes to those three characters specifically, not the whole order, I don't believe everybody within the order was angels or fallen angels, but I believe the Holiness, Credo, and Ignis are definitely fallen angels. They probably had to cooperate with other demons just so that they can maintain a certain level of power and a certain level of presence. But inevitably, I do believe they had fallen and now they're worshiping Sparta as their own god or their own demon king. Only because, like, since they're fallen and they're no longer within the grace of God or whatever, they just found another method to be able to retain power. I think this is another reason why, like, His Holiness is so obsessed with power in general, kind of like Virgil. Only because, like, he was once a powerful angel, but because he fallen from grace, he lost everything that he once had. So now he's looking for a substitute of power so that he could be once again as powerful as he once was. So that's just how I see it. But like I said, guys, like this was just some thoughts I had about like Devil May Cry and potentially there being angels and stuff like that. Like I seen online and just in the space of YouTube or in the space of the Devil May Cry community, people talking about like angel triggers and stuff like that. So the first thing that popped up in my mind was just like, yo, wouldn't it be cool if there were angels already within the Devil May Cry mythos? But that's all I really have. Like I said, only speculation. This is like a speculation video through and through. But let me know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think there's already pre-existing angels within Devil May Cry? Or do you think, like, no, putting in angels will make the story a little bit too convoluted for itself? Like, keeping it all demons feels a little bit more natural and clean. And let me know what you guys think about anything I said. Whether you think I'm just straight up wrong, or you think the idea could be interesting or cool. Let me know in the comment section down below. But that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys for watching. You guys take care. Peace.